Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on behalf of your Denver-based podcast crew, we appreciate you joining us for the friendly vibes.
Mo, coming to you live from TSS University, top shelf. Where the heck are we? I don't even know. It's a balmy Saturday morning, and I'm joined by the cougar of Colorado comedy. Mo Vida is here. Thank you for being here, Mo. Cheers.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
We're sipping on some Arnold Palmies.
There's no vodka in it, I promise.
I know. I've been stepping back from the alcohol consumption recently, and I was like, oh, summer shandy sounds good. Can I offer an NA alternative?
Yeah. Well, I thought about that because usually I'm like, I'm a beer girl, but I'm like, well, it's 10 a.m. and I have to drive later, so I should be responsible.
And you're today performing on the Loveland Comedy Festival. Laugh Out Loveland, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. That's exciting.
I'm excited. Yes, it'll be fun. And I was hoping to go last night, and then I had a gig, which I will admit I forgot to put in my calendar, so I'm really glad he messaged me. I was like, oh, good thing I wasn't on my way to Loveland. But yeah, that was fun. That was at a kava bar.
Oh, a kava bar? That's like a drug, isn't it?
It is a natural relaxant.
It's one of those like opioid replacements or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. One of the comics tried it and thought it tasted terrible and was like, you should try it. And I said, that's not how that works. You're like, this is awful. Here, have some. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm all set.
It's something you eat?
No, it's a drink. It's a beverage. You can flavor it. But, it's kind of like if you've ever been to like a dab lounge, but of course it's not alcohol or drugs. But it was kind of funny, I was like living my dreams on stage and there were two guys playing chess the whole time. By the way, they were listening. They were laughing. And I didn't realize it wasn't until towards the end of my set that the guy sitting closest to me was totally strapped. And I was like, oh, I just noticed that huge gun on your belt loop. That's cool. I'm terrified of guns, by the way. And he's like, well, it's all good. I know how to use it. And I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
It's like, so if stuff goes down in the kava bar, you're the guy who's going to keep us safe.
Thank God. You always had one concealed carry in the kava bar.
Not even concealed. That was the thing. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I have a necklace on.
Yeah, that's not even like allowed in Colorado, right? We're not an open carry state, are we?
We are.
We are?
Yep.
Wow. Boulder County and the city of Denver.
Oh, okay. Boulder County, city of so everywhere but where the people are.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, well that makes sense. Because everywhere that isn't the metro area of Colorado is, either the mountains or farming. So
Yep. This
used to be a purple state like back in the day, right? Because there were so many ranchers and stuff.
It still is.
I'd argue it still is, yeah.
It's absolutely. I do gigs all over. It is very purple. Like more reddish purple, I would say.
By landmass for sure, right?
Yeah, it's I've done, ironically, Rifle, Colorado. There's a name. Yeah, I've done gigs there, and I remember
Did you do
one
the
time
youth theater or where?
Mm-hmm, yeah. And then we went to like the local watering hole, and there's some guy outside like, oh, you're so funny. And I'm like, cool. I like that Confederate flag jacket you got on, friend. Don't keep us guessing what side of the table you're on.
Oh my goodness. Well,
it's all good.
I grew up in Boulder County, so deep in the heart of leftist idealism.
Yeah. Yes.
For better or for worse.
I went to school in Boulder.
Yeah.
I know.
Very lofty ideals and thinking that, they're treating everyone the right way. But you examine a little deeper and you're like, I think there's some room for improvement here. I'm not looking around at that much diversity in these communities. And we're kind of, talking like we're encouraging that, but we don't seem to be as much. I don't know. It was like oxymoronic, the same way that like someone with a Confederate flag on the back of their truck would claim to be accepting. It was like, this doesn't. Yeah, it's not lining up there.
I mean, if there's one thing that we've gotten really right as people and just human beings is hypocrisy. I think we've nailed it. I think we're really good at that one.
Narcissism, hypocrisy.
Yes, narcissism.
The greed. Oh, we're getting so good at greed in this country. It's crazy.
Greed is good. It's crazy. We're living in very historic times, so that's kind of cool.
Well, I feel like we've only been living in historic times since we've been put on this earth.
I mean, technically and semantically, it's all historic times.
Right?
Yesterday was historic times.
So is it just because we've seen the news more and there's more coverage and engagement
Oh,
with...
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this is going to make anybody feel better, but sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, we were always kind of pieces of shit. Can I curse? I don't know if
Absolutely.
I can curse. Because like I'll come upon reels from the 80s or even further back, and we're still talking about and debating the same stuff and having issues with the same things. So I'm just like, oh, cool. Okay. So it doesn't really change. We just talk about it and it kind of dissipates. It's an ebb and flow of just shitty, So, yeah.
That's a really good point. Mike Hammock was on recently and he was talking about having kids, and I was expressing like, oh, I would love to have a family, but like these times it's so hard to, and he's like, people had kids during the Black Plague. Like, what do you, that's such a cop-out excuse. It's like, wow, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I don't really
so it's
understand.
kind of always been historic times, like you're saying. Like, it's always been...
Yeah, it's never been, like, great for everybody, right? I mean, as a woman, you hear women talk about, like, well, back then, or I love the 50s, and I love those styles and stuff. And I'm like, do you love not having your own finance? I mean, there's just realities around that stuff. So I think... probably mentally it's healthier to just enjoy where you are in the present, enjoy the people who are around you, stop doom scrolling, and just get on with it. Yes. Be more mindful. Yes. It's the old Office quote of Andy Bernard, like, wish there was a way to tell you're in the good old days before you've left them. It's like, just accept that, just
like,
be.
the day you're in is the good old day.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Just some light conversation for the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Just get down to the brass tacks.
I will very quickly jump on a soapbox. That's part of my problem. I was like, that's why I don't do a lot of political comedy, because I'm like, no, that's going to turn into a TED Talk. I'm like a poli-sci undergrad. I have a master's in psychology. So it turns into a TED Talk real fast. So I'll stick with dick jokes.
And if you're passionate about the topic, especially politically, it's hard to, political comedy is like usually best done when you're getting at both sides and the hypocrisy of both sides. Yes. And if you've got like a strong passion for a stance or a position, it's really more difficult as an artist to openly and transparently pick at both sides. Like the crowd can kind of tell you're like, you kind of like that side more because you keep hitting this side type of a thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that is really our job as comics, is to kind of be the sociologists with a laugh. But it's true, if you want to really be a good political comic, you really do have to examine both sides and then bring out the ridiculousness of both sides so we can all laugh at how dumb both sides are, and laugh at ourselves. I mean, it's really about being able to laugh at yourself. So, and I mean, some stuff I'll do. I mean, for me, I think it's more the male-female relation, right? Because being a straight woman who's dating, and I can tease both sides, right? I don't want to alienate guys. I don't want to hammer home like, you guys suck and, you
Men
do this.
Are pieces of shit.
Well, but spoiler alert, I have a lot of guy friends because of comedy, and we have some pretty candid conversations. And I'm like, oh, you ladies, we're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs too. Like, we do some stuff, I was recently on a date with a guy, and he was really adamant about not wanting to give me his cell phone. And I was just like, that's a rule. Like, I need your cell, and we meet in public. And
what was he giving you, like an email, or what are we talking about?
We were on a messaging app.
Okay.
And we met in public, and I actually took him near Comedy Works because I was like, well, these people know me.
Nice.
So that's like an extra layer of safety. And I was like, you know what? He doesn't have my cell phone either, so that's cool. But very legitimately, he was like, look, I'm really sorry, but I got divorced not that long ago, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Got on the dating apps. I hadn't dated in a while. And I gave this woman my cell phone, and then she just showed up at my house one day. and, he's got kids. And he's like, yeah, I don't like this at all. And I'm like, well, she just got she must have run his cell and gotten his home address. And I'm like, that's terrifying. Not in the same way as if a guy did it to a woman, possibly. But,
Yeah, because we get results, Mo.
I always look at that, like, because, people are like, oh, well, men hurt women more, which is statistically true. But I'm like, if somebody has a gun, they don't have to be a big dude to hurt
I'm a
somebody.
pussy. Everyone's intimidated by me. I'm a complete pussy.
Yeah.
Huge teddy bear.
I was laughing this morning. I was thinking about this and I'm like, I need a new agent. I just got booked to do a podcast in like a creepy garage with a guy who's 6'5". I mean, that sounds completely safe. Nothing could go wrong.
Exactly.
It'll be my only TV credit. I'll just end up a Forensic Files episode.
Why did InTALLerable not have more female guests? The story.
They did in historic times. They're all dead now. Don't look in the backyard. That's why we rent a house.
Exactly. No, it's. I always do have to recognize that though, that I'm not. I don't think I see myself as this like large impeding man or whatever, but like that is definitely how other people can see me, and so in approaching someone to be on my show, I got to be a little like tentative or, careful with what how I'm approaching. So I'm not coming across completely or perceived, the wrong way.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's definitely a real thing. In fact, I have friends who are tall dudes, and they're like, it sucks because there was a time where, I was hanging out with friends going to bars, and then there's just inevitably some dude at the bar who thinks like I'm a tall guy, which means I want to fight. And I don't, and I just want to have my beer. And then they'd start stuff. And I don't know if that's happened to you in Boulder County.
There are definitely there are those big dudes out there that are like big dudes with a small like ego, Yeah. And there are small dudes with small egos too. Like ego is just a people thing. But yeah, if you got a lot of power in your body and you're looking to fuck up other large dudes, like, you're just going to be a problem for the whole community. Like, oh, I could be a problem, Chris. Yeah, no. So it's a weird time in the history of humanity to be a big white dude. I think it's probably the strangest time because throughout all the rest of history, it's been just the best. It's like, that's the best position you can be in. Big white dude. Like now it's like, let's be a little careful with this big white dude.
You've got the big white dude syndrome. I've got the Karen syndrome.
Totally. So,
same thing. Not a real good time for me.
We're both Sisyphus. We've got our rocks and our hills, and we're pushing. We're doing what we can.
It's so funny to me. I'm like, here's what's funny.
Is it because you're bubbly, or what's the like?
No, because I'm a middle-aged white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes. This is Hitler's wet dream. I mean, this is it. Like, this is what he wanted. He wasn't even this, like.
He aspired to be this.
Yeah. Like, if this were 1935 Germany, I would be being bred. Like,
bring me bread and breed me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it, but I do think it's also very funny because, first of all, there's an irony, and I think you're kind of talking about this, where people who call you a Karen will do it a lot of times based purely on how you look, which in and of itself is hilarious because I'm like, so you're just judging me by my looks. But also, like, my parents are immigrants, right? So I'm first gen, and my experience has been different because of that, because I actually, since I'm old, like growing up, it was definitely, the Cold War was very much a thing. So like we were the spies and the commies, and we were weird and we spoke a different language. And so I got like, I won't go so far as to say I was bullied, but I was absolutely made fun of. I was absolutely ostracized. I think because I'm a girl, they went easier on me. But like people said really stupid stuff too. Like,
did you go to school here in Colorado?
Yeah, so I was born and raised here. I grew up not far from here, actually. But it was funny. Like, I remember one summer. So my dad was a civil engineer, and one summer he decided he was going to build a deck onto the back of the house. Well, to build a deck, first you have to put the poles in the ground. So he's like doing that, and our neighbor peers over the fence, and he's like, "Oh, Alex, are you building a shrine to Stalin?" You know, I mean, that's such an ignorant thing to say. It was incredible, but like my dad.
You said poles in the ground. I thought you were, you know, you're like Polish immigrants. So I was like rattling off Polish jokes in my head, and I was like 3, 4, 5. Like, how many can I'm gonna get a good one here.
Yeah, Hungarians hate Polish people, so we decided to make a deck out of them.
Okay, so Hungary.
Wooden poles.
We had to put the poles in the ground, if you know what I mean.
Because that's where they belong. No, I was just like.
So they're from Hungary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one point that was part of the Soviet bloc, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Very much so. And I used to go back every summer, so I was there under communism too.
Whoa. What was that like? Growing up in like free America or whatever. Free America.
Yeah.
And then
it was really interesting. I mean, 1,000% colors who I am as a human being, which is also why I think it's so interesting when people just kind of like, they're like, "You're a Karen." And I have Karen traits. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've definitely talked to a manager or two in my life. But it's kind of like because of having grown up and going back every summer and, you know, seeing my relatives and other people like living in a much more impoverished country, dealing with like, you know, for example, you had to sign up to get a telephone, and we're talking about like the 80s. So like people didn't have phones in their homes until like they got to their name on the list, and then you could have a phone. You had to go on a list for a car, and you kind of just got like, you could say what you would like as a car, but you just got what you got, right? Because they didn't have free markets. So they were just making stuff, and then they didn't have enough because it wasn't like a supply demand situation. So just kind of seeing how people lived, but at the same time, and I really hold on to this because like they were happy, like we were happy, like we'd show up, you know, we'd cook, we'd have fun, we'd put on music and dance and stuff like that. So even when things are shitty, like you can still find the good, you can still find the joy. And it's in people, which honestly, I think is why people are really struggling these days, because they think they're super connected because of social media, but they're actually not authentically connected. And because they can't vibe on each other and have that joy, you know, everything seems like it's just the absolute worst. And, you know, we're in Armageddon. I mean, we're not in great times, but like I said, I watched my family, you know, go through that. I heard stories. We had family friends who, so Hungary had a revolution in 1956 and they lost.
Wait, is that the Holodomor?
Mm-mm.
No, that's in Romania, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all the countries
it was
tried.
all involved in that. They're all kind of wrapped up in like a similar type of situation.
Yeah. I mean, in 56, they basically wanted to revolt against the Russians. They attempted it and didn't go their way.
Oh.
But like I remember my mom's best friend, she told me one time, she's like, yeah, you know, I think they handed out pamphlets or something like that. And in the middle of the night, the cops just showed up and they were like, "You're part of the revolution." And they could have just killed them, right? Like that was totally an option. They were kind and they were like, "We can't have you living in the city. You're creating problems." And they're like, "Whatever you can pack up. You've got like 10 minutes and then you have to move back down to the village that like your rest of your family lives." And then, I mean, imagine that. Imagine somebody coming in here in the middle of the night and being like, "You're problematic. You have a podcast that talks about things we don't want you to talk about."
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already now. Let's be honest.
I mean, give it time. But, you know, and they're just like,
we're on list for sure. I mean.
But no, yeah.
I've been joking since the start that my goal is that if I'm doing this right, at some point, whoever they is, will come for me.
Yeah.
To take everything I have. And when they come, I want them to find out that I've carefully learned capitalism so well from the inside out that everything is trusted away and safety, whatever. They
trust
can't
baby?
touch. And no, but like,
I'm kidding.
I work for some people that are, wealthy and established business people. And it's like, you watch how they segment their life so carefully so that no one can get at anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're going to have to do that if you're doing this right. So
I used to recruit in private wealth. And so I was recruiting private bankers. And, part of the process was understanding their business, their books of business, not anything confidential, but just kind of like, what do your clients look like? And one of the things I learned, by the way, is some of the wealthiest people got wealthy off of like stuff you don't even think about. Like, my dad started a factory where we make the tabs to like soda cans, and so, because we're always looking at celebrities or, kind of like the Bezos, Elon Musks and things like that. And there's this entire echelon of people who are like worth $100 million or more. And it's off of just stuff that you use every day and you don't even think about it. So, but yeah, when my dad was dying, it was because I knew private bankers that I was like, you guys really should look into setting some stuff up in a trust, because they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, because there's no reason for them to teach us these skills because it doesn't benefit them to teach us the skills.
No.
If everybody knew about how to like subvert the rules to make the rules work for them, then the rules don't work anymore.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's an interesting thing too, because sometimes people will be like, like I do think that there's kind of this group of people who truly do take advantage of, let's say, the tax code. But at the same time, I'm like, well, if we're always like rallying against the people who are actually doing it by the rules, but leveraging all the rules and the loopholes, as they like to call them. And I'm like, well, can you really hate somebody for going to an accountant and being like, how can I pay the least amount of taxes and leave more of a financial legacy for my family? I can't hate, but there are definitely, the problem is always when it flips over to like the few messing it up for the many,
Yeah, I do think on like a lot of the modern issues where we throw up our arms in frustration is like, let's examine the opposite or like an alternative outcome. Like, okay, what if there aren't rules for people that can pay to abuse to pay less? What if there weren't rules? Well, then what will happen is that everyone gets stolen from. That's the alternative, is that everybody gets robbed, not just some people.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, unfortunately, when you run the objective analysis of it, it's like, well, some people getting robbed is better than everybody getting robbed.
Yeah, like, exactly. Just some people get murdered, not everybody. No, I'm kidding.
It's pretty messed up. But like, upward mobility, where I bitch all the time on this show about like, oh, we're never going to own any assets. Like, we have no path to upward mobility in our generation where we're born. Bullshit. Oh,
I was like, that's not true.
We have the most, we've never been born at a better time for upward mobility. People become millionaires and billionaires off of fake things on the internet.
Yeah, that bothers me, but it is true. It's absolutely true. I think, and I've seen this being in the business world, I think the people who struggle are the ones who like...
Sorry, we're laughing because Chris continues to pull up genocide facts on what's happening in Gaza.
That's what happens when you take the laws away.
Oh, yeah, you take away the laws.
Like, whoa, how do we get to that?
That's a good point. You take away the laws, and this is what happens. In Gaza's population, 2.2 million, 91% of those 2.2 million face acute hunger.
Yeah.
It's
not even rules. Cute if we're being, no, I'm kidding.
The hunger, it's not even acute anymore.
It's not cute hunger. It's kind of gross. It's really ugly. It's ugly hunger.
I walked in, I said, this isn't acute hunger. This is ugly hunger. My God, these kids, they're not cute hungry. They're ugly hungry.
Oh, I'm going to hell.
He doesn't know words like acute. He's like... The pain, it's pretty cute. This pain.
The pain is painful. The pain is it's huge. It's huge. The pain is huge. Yeah, I mean I agree with you. It's the people who get stuck in thinking like that the old ways that worked don't work anymore, and therefore it's not possible. I mean I saw that like, going through the financial crisis. I was recruiting in finance I was in New York.
You were
right?
in New York?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was, the subway was filled with very sad-looking people with their boxes.
In private banking in New York in 2007?
I was recruiting in it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a front row seat. I had like grown men calling me and crying.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you had grown men. You were talking off ledges and shit.
Yeah, no, that's not even a joke. It was bad. I mean, I remember like Citibank. They, a lot of people took like parts of their bonuses throughout their tenure in stock. And their stock went, don't quote me on this, but I think it went from somewhere maybe in the 50s, 60s. I think at the lowest, it was like maybe less than $2 or something, So people were like, oh, I'm going to retire in a few years. And now you've got nothing. So yeah, it was really bad. But, it was the people who continued to say, oh, it'll get back to what it was. And I'm like, it won't. That's just not how it works, Will things get better? Yes. Are they going to get better the exact same way they were previously? No. And we're really in those times now, everybody talks about AI. I think the pendulum will swing back with AI because it's not being used correctly. And I think a lot of companies are like, oh, we're just going to replace everything and everybody with AI. And then they're going to realize like their consumers are going to be like, that's what happened with like offshoring all the call centers, right? Bingo. And now when you call your bank, like sometimes it's a call center, but a lot of times they even will be like, this is Mindy in Ohio, because that's the differentiator of you're going to talk to somebody who, is in the society that you're banking in, right? So, but anyhow, I think that's something that I learned and I try to really remind myself of is it'll get better, but it's not going to go back. So you have to kind of be on the lookout of, okay, what is the new landscape and how do I make that work? Versus, I just am wishing that it goes back to what I was already comfortable with. I'm like, yeah, life's uncomfortable. Sorry.
Facts.
I mean, I'm 51. I'm constantly uncomfortable. Yay, perimenopause. Thank you. If you need proof that God is a man, talk to a woman in peri or menopause. She's like, he's a dude. He sucks.
Is Peri's like pre?
Yeah.
Is that the one where you get like super horned up as ladies?
No.
That's before that part? So there's like a period.
The
ladies are so fascinating, though.
I mean, that's a very
we guys don't
kind
understand
way.
anything about it. But
that's a kind way of you saying it. I think most guys are like, that's too much. I'm just going to go watch porn and create an AI model.
Yeah, it's a lot to understand, for sure.
No, so you're talking about sexual peak.
Okay.
But unfortunately, perimenopause is where your hormones just take a dive. And here's the thing that's really crazy. Not every woman, but most women, like we all experience it differently. So that's like the really fucked up part is like, I'll go to brunch with girlfriends and I'll be like, oh, I have insomnia now. That's cool. And she's like, oh, really? I'm like exhausted all the time. I could sleep all the time, or somebody gets hot flashes or somebody's like, I'm sweating and wet here, but dry down here. What the fuck? So it sucks. That's why I'm like, God is a man. I promise you. Swear to God. No. And this is the other thing that nobody talks about. Like perimenopause can literally start in your late 30s, early 40s and last like 10 plus years. Menopause technically is when you have stopped having your period for more than a year.
Okay.
So that's actually like, because growing up, everyone's like, oh, menopause is so terrible. Menopause, you're done. You're done. That's great. Like, I can't wait. I'm like, can I just get over that hill, please? Because this is some bullshit I'm going through now. But yeah, perimenopause can be like 10 years. And it changes. Like, you'll have symptoms that are this for a while and then different. So yeah, don't be a woman. And
that is the reason that they don't. I mean, does medicine know like how to?
No,
help?
They don't care about us.
Okay, and is that was my kind
Do you
of
know how
question.
much? So I told you I get on soapboxes real easy. This is how much the medical community does not give a shit about aging women. So there's this thing, it's called hormone replacement therapy, right? So first of all, there was a really not well done study decades ago, and it freaked everybody out and said, if you do hormone replacement, you're going to get cancer and you're going to die. So now they're like, that's all false. So now they've done studies and they're like, not only is it important for women to replace estrogen and progesterone, it's also important for them to replace testosterone. And we have those hormones that they occur naturally. Testosterone I don't think has yet to be tested on women. So it's a huge guessing game.
What?
To just kind of figure it out. So my doctor talked to me about it and they're like, well, we can try and give you testosterone, but like, just be aware that you could possibly, like, I love this. I'm trying to write a joke about this because it's the truth. She's like, well, there are some side effects. So you might like get facial hair. You might, or probably actually will get a heightened libido. So that's not necessarily bad. Deeper voice maybe. And then you may get an enlarged clit.
Growing
and
that
I'm like,
dick out.
Awesome. So basically, American medicine's answer to me being uncomfortable as a woman in perimenopause is just to turn me into a dude.
Yep.
That's it. Just turn me into a dude. I'm hung like a light switch. But that's the answer.
That's funny as fuck.
Anyhow. All right. I won't scare you
Hung
boys
like a light
anymore
switch,
with my
I'm going to say that in public and I shouldn't.
I stole that from an Irishman.
That's so good.
It was hilarious. He hit on me at a bar. This was in New York. I was young. Hit on me. He was so cute. And that Irish accent. I mean, that's just Irish accent is immediately like, whatever. Do whatever you want, sir. And we were in a cab going back to my place, and he was just going through like all the things he was going to do for me. And then he was drunk too. And he's just like, oh, I'm going to do this and this, and I'm going to make you come so many times, and none of it was like penetrative talk. We'll put it that way. And then
it's a man that knows what he's doing, folks.
Well, because he's like, oh, because, I'm Irishman, so I'm hung like a light switch. And I was like, what?
That's incredible.
Yeah, dude, the potato famine.
I'm like, thank you for, warning me ahead of time. He was fine, by the way, just for the record. Nobody asked, but I was like, you're fine. You're a grower.
We've got hoop dreams of this big idea for another show. If money wasn't a thing, we build a small confessional booth. And get priest costumes and take collars in, and we put it at like the base of Maroon Bells.
I think I've seen this on Pornhub. Go on.
And it's called Shameful by Nature. And you've called Father Connolly shameful by nature. What's your problem today? Thanks for stepping into the confessional.
Oh my God, please do that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be
How
awesome?
much money do you need? I have 2 feet. I will sell feet pics.
Yeah, we're going to sell Mo's feet pics to fund Shameful
Who
by
likes
Nature.
Cankles?
Shameful by Nature. Dude, I'm telling you.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
We start like an Andrew Tate level, like
not human trafficking,
MILF
please.
level, like feet money laundering scheme, so that we can finance a different podcast. That's like, what a bit, dude.
That's America now.
That's America.
See, it goes back to what you were saying. There's plenty of opportunity for you to own a home.
Welcome to the new financial landscape.
It is so crazy. So I will admit this. Speaking of confessionals, I'll confess. I'll start you off.
Shameful by nature.
So this woman keeps popping up on my feed, and she's like this mom. She's a MILF, right? But she collabs. I'm assuming they collaborate together now with this guy who's an OnlyFans dude. And he's like super cute, but his whole thing is he will do videos for women where he's talking to you, and it's a lot of like what women would want to hear and like aftercare and all that. And he's hot. So I got super curious about this, and I was like, God, I really don't want to get on OnlyFans. Like, why am I getting? And one night, little wine, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna subscribe. First of all, this kid has a fucking hog. Oh my God. It's like and he's got, you know why it's so jarring? Because he's got a baby face and he's got this adorable, and when he comes, because he jerks off, that sounds, it's much better than just that. It's not some guy just jerking off. Like, it's a whole thing, but it's like so funny because like he'll be like, oh, I love you, you're so hot, you know, be like super sexy, and then he comes and then he giggles and he's like, ha, and I was like, oh my God, you're so fuckable. But I don't even know where I was going.
See, that's a new landscape. This guy, he's learning.
Yeah, I was like, what was I talking about? But I did like some. I'm terrible at math, so I'm totally wrong on this. But like, I did some math on like how many people I'm seeing on there, like followers, and what the subscription prices are. And then his videos are like $20, I think. And then I'm sure he gets tips. I ain't got it like that. But it's just, I'm like, he literally sits in his, and I'm not diminishing the work that he does, but to your point, I'm like, I think he's in his 20s, maybe early 30s, maybe. But I'm like, he's a multimillionaire if I'm doing the math right. And he also says that he runs it all himself. So he's not paying like this huge social media team or whatever. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm doing it wrong. I wish I didn't have that Catholic guilt and my mom's voice in my head like, you're a whore.
Right,
you know?
Right. Me too.
I could just get rid of that.
I, you know, being as big as I am, like I could be a very, like there's a market out there for me to sell myself. Totally. Like totally there's a market. But that Catholic guilt to both.
Because gay men would pay you.
I'd make way more money from gay men.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like 10x, 100x.
I mean, it's like the restaurant business, you know, women don't tip as well. Yeah, you totally could. Can I tell you one more thing?
I just held back a joke. I want you all to know that I held back.
Go for it.
Women and no.
Oh, tipping, just the tip? Was it just a
tipping joke? No. Canadians and women.
I have to tell you this one last thing about this guy because I kind of want to.
So did you collab with him?
No, not yet. I would love to. Well, I want to do a joke and then maybe I'll send it to him because here's the thing. So he's got tattoos and he's got these amazing like chest tattoos and stuff like that. But the crazy thing is he has one of his thighs is full of tattoos of like horror film characters like Michael Myers. And I'm so weird. I can't sit there and get it out of my head. If I were like on my knees blowing him, I would be like eye to eye with Michael Myers. I'm like, why did you put it there, my man? Like, put it on your back or something. Like, why are you going to make me like have nightmares as I'm sucking your dick? That's so not cool. Like, what the fuck?
This is crazy. The distribution of earnings on OnlyFans, the top 1% of creators generate 33% of the platform revenue, kind of like taxpayers in the United States. And the top 10% account for 73% of all earners. So about kind of like taxes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And do you follow anybody on OnlyFans?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
I have in my life before, at least for short stints. You know, they give you the free promo things. You get a month or two for free.
That's like a drug dealer. No, you could try it. Just try a little bit for free. It's crack. No, it's free. It's on the house. The one thing, because when you go on, and I'm sure it's different for everybody, right? Because they're trying to feed you what you think, but it's all women for me, which is ironic because I follow this one guy for research purposes. But it's so funny because they'll have the thing of the video, and the video is like, Katya goes to Disneyland, you know? And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It must be like a travel thing. But then it has her banner, you know, like her, like, and it's just ass. It's tits and ass. And I'm like, oh, so it's really just very hot girls doing kind of normal things. I guess that's a fantasy, right? Just a hot girl riding a roller coaster.
Interesting.
Some men are down bad. I'll tell you that.
Well, there's whole communities like they talked about it on shows in like the 16 to 20 era, but like there's whole community of guys that jack off to like those K-pop girls, and there's no pictures of these ladies nude or even in like bikini. They're like jacking off to normal pictures of ladies.
Yeah.
Like, she sits so like feminine. It's like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like,
I mean, good for using your imagination, I guess. Probably bad because she's a child. That's not good. Yeah, going back to what we were saying about how, there's this, women are like, oh, men are this. And I'm like, yeah, we should be careful though, because there's a whole big group of men who are like, AI and robots, you bitches are out of here. Like, I don't have to listen to anybody talk. So
yeah, there's lots of men that are like checked out of the workforce too post-COVID.
Oh, for sure.
That are like between 25 and 50 that are just not going back to work. And like, what are these people doing with their lives? Sitting around jacking off to AI.
Yes.
And it's like, that's not good for society.
Yes.
That's not a good, this doesn't end well.
They're messaging me. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm fucking working, dude. It's Tuesday at 1:30 in the afternoon. Thanks for the dick pic. Mama's going to have to save it for later because she's got a Zoom in 20 minutes. Yeah, no, that's very real.
Is it like that, being a woman on the internet? Just constantly getting flooded with bullshit.
I honestly, I don't as much. I think partially because I'm older now. And then also I don't really put myself out there like that.
Yeah.
Like even guys who message me like after a show or whatever, they'll follow me on Instagram. It's pretty nice.
That's
like
good.
It's very complimentary, and it used to be more, you guys, not you personally, but men went through this, like when they discovered they could just airdrop their dicks to everybody, they just did it. And it was, but I think they also probably learned the hard way that when you give women that big of a basis of comparison, you might not want to be sending your dick to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have the brash confidence. Just like,
yeah, dude, I don't even know.
It's.
I can't, like.
Have you ever sent a dick pic?
No.
You've never sent a dick pic?
That's How old are you?
That's crazy.
I don't have that in me. I'm like.
How old are you?
Good for you.
27.
That's good for you.
Thanks.
I'm impressed by that.
I've noticed that. I've absolutely noticed that like younger guys now are like, no, why? I don't want to look at it. Like, no, I'm kidding. I love dicks. I do. I love dicks. But yeah, there was a moment in time where it was just, and I think it's just jarring when you don't know, you think you're opening a message like, hey, you were funny at the show. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, okay. Why is it curvy?
Uncut. Okay. Wow.
Unsolicited? If that's not illegal, it should be.
It is illegal now.
Okay.
They've made it illegal in most states. It's illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I use it as material. I have a ton of jokes about it, but yeah, it's crazy. And it's funny because one of my jokes, and this is from a true story. This happened because I was dating somebody who was my age, and they'd been married, so they didn't do any of that, right? They weren't
were already
on the
married
apps.
at 29.
No, yeah, I love you, honey. I can't even get away with 39 anymore, but I love you anyhow.
Sorry, my mom would be proud of me.
But we were talking about like, solicited versus unsolicited, right? And he's like, oh, you guys really hate dick pics being sent. And so I was like, well, I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody and it's consensual and you're kind of like, yeah, like, let's spice up the day. And he's like, oh, would you want me to do that? Like, would you be open to it? I was like, yeah, like, I know you, I know him, like, let's go. But, I get them all the time. And I just assumed he knew what the deal was. So he just sent me a penis picture. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, what happened? Why are you sending me this? And I didn't realize, like, I had to tell him, I'm like, no, you should be hard. Like, it shouldn't just, it's not like a medical book, where you're like, poo-poo. I was like, he should be thinking of me and hopefully be hard.
That's hilarious.
So I literally taught a guy how to take a dick pic.
That's supreme confidence, though, sending soft teen to a lady. Like, let me just send you soft teenus. There you go.
I just thought it was so funny. I was like, I just assumed you knew.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and then there's this new countercultural move of like some young men that are like not on social media. They don't use, they're like fully pushing back against the AI bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, and it's smart because I think they're realizing the, you know, I mean, the problem is it's unregulated.
Yeah.
We're playing catch up to the technology, and you know, there's a lot of good to it. There's a lot of good to AI. I use AI for my coaching business and stuff, and it's very helpful. But there's a lot of bad things. And like I said, the pendulum kind of swings, right? And it is nice. It's nice to hear like younger guys go, you know what? I thought about it and I realized not a good call. You know, and truthfully, there's a lot of stuff out there, right, where people have gotten in trouble. So it's like, why would I do that? You know, it's like, and I've never also understood like the point of it. Like, I think it's kind of like, I'm going to send you this in the hopes that you will reciprocate with like boob pictures or even more, right? Like it's kind of, but it's funny because guys really have not much else to offer, no offense, but like I could send you a boob pic, you know, and that's kind of like, oh, a boob. I could send side boob and dudes would maybe be happy with that. But like guys, you know, that's what you got.
You kind of got one angle.
Yeah, that's what you got. You're like, if I send this, hopefully she'll send me something back.
Yeah. It's like a message in a bottle and you're just like hoping that the sea takes it somewhere. I don't know. It's just not. I do think it'll be interesting to see over the next like 30 to 50 years because there will be like in my generation, there'll be people who have kids and they decide I'm not going to raise the kid on, he's not going to be an iPad kid. Yeah. It's going to be extra work, going to be super hard, but my kid isn't going to be an iPad kid. And then those subsect of children, when they grow up to be adults, they will be the bosses of the Coco Melon iPad kids.
Yeah.
And this entire generation of Coco Melon, scroll, ostracized into, you know, end all be all, will be run by people that have been reading Aristotle and Plato and shit since they were fucking 6 years old, that understand the mechanics that they're being abused by systems of power like really deeply. Yeah. Where these other people have just been, you know, algorithmed into a cog. They're just a part of the power structure. Well,
I've had this conversation about comedy and how social media has really created some of the issues that we see in stand-up, namely that what they started to like the digital, so not just social media, but digital. Because I was actually also talking and sometimes recruiting digital people. So I knew a little bit ahead of time how very much they were watching everything we did. And I remember interviewing somebody and I was like, God, it was crazy because I Googled like shoes, a pair of shoes on Google. And then I went to my Facebook and then there was just like ads for those exact type of shoes. And they're like, and they explained to me like, yeah, that's how this works. So my point being that these people have grown up where everything has catered to their sensibilities because of course that's how you can sell stuff, right? Oh, they looked at this, so we've got a better shot of selling it, etc. But what happens is when they come to a comedy show, they're still in that mindset of everything I see in my daily life is curated for what I like. But now I'm sitting in a room filled with people and I'm watching different comics talking about different things and different styles. And there are people who really think like, oh, well, I don't like this and I should make it known. And it's like, no, sit the fuck down or leave, you know, you can leave. But like my generation, you know, you turned on the TV, you didn't like what was on that channel, you switched the channel. You didn't sit there and go, I need to let this network know that they shouldn't have this show on because I don't like it. Like that's crazy. I think the other thing that comics have done to themselves, and I get why, and I know you do too, is the whole, you know, we don't want to burn material, but we've got to create content. So we'll put up hecklers. And now people genuinely are showing up to shows and they're not being assholes. They really genuinely think it's part of the show. They're like, what? Like, it's, you know. You
want me to be talking to you.
Yeah. Like this is, and I'll get on, you know, your feed and it'll be great. And like, there's one comic who I adore, But a lot of times he'll post stuff where he'll buy a shot for the heckler. And I'm like, I love you so much. Please stop fucking doing that, because people are going to come and think that they can get like free shots out of us because they're heckling us, you know? And so it's really fascinating stuff. See,
to
I
push
told
back
you.
against this, I'm going to start bringing hecklers up onto the stage and executing them next to me on the stage to show other hecklers who would be hecklers what could happen. You know,
This is called killing.
This is incentives. Bam!
Say it again. I mean, look at Matt Rife. You know,
Look at him. Come on.
I mean, okay.
I can't stop
if
looking
I
at him,
have
though.
to. He's too pretty.
Yeah.
I like ugly sexy.
Yeah.
I mean,
he got me some weight bars like a couple months ago, and I've been, trying to get more fit. I'm down from like being fat. And
I was like, that's not you.
No, that's not me. Not at all. But he says if I keep doing it consistently, I could turn into Sean Rife.
Yeah, I call him that.
Sean Rife. So that's where I'm headed.
I hate how easy it is for you guys to get muscle. Oh, look how cute he is there. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Look at that jawline. Somebody says he got surgery.
Yeah,
That's
Definitely.
But I mean, that picture in particular, he's so pretty though. I'm almost like, oh no, I can't hurt you, baby. Mama's gonna really ruin you if she goes at you. Sorry.
That's so funny.
I'm kidding. I'm very boring in bed. I talk a good game. I'm mostly like,
he did like the first crowd work, like his whole special was crowd work, right? I'm like, that's like Netflix, putting on a just crowd work special is probably not great for the art form either.
Well, yeah, okay, but I guess
if it's specifically crowd work.
I just saw Nate Jackson. He was fantastic. And it's all crowd work. And actually I just saw, I think he was on whatever the podcast is with Charlemagne.
Breakfast Club?
Probably, yeah. And he was talking about that. And he's like, people like to shit on that form of comedy.
It's harder. It's a lot harder.
It's way harder.
It's way harder to do that well. To do it to the mastery level is way harder than I wrote an hour over 10 years. Yeah. And I've been doing it for 10 years and it's perfect.
Yeah.
And this is me. This is my hour.
There is a formula to it. I mean, like Sam Talent, right? He's out of here. I mean, that's also, he does a lot of the crowd work and stuff. People love it.
Yeah, but his crowd work is like if you gave an encyclopedia acid. And then that acid high encyclopedia was interacting with
put shorts on it.
And that's what that crowd work is. It's completely different than any other crowd work.
Well, yeah, but it is still. But that's what I'm saying. So when it's done well, it's great and it's brilliant. And I think, a lot of times people, I mean, think about why people go to a live comedy show. It's because they want to not just watch comedy and laugh. People don't understand like the energy and the coming togetherness of us all laughing at something. Like it's very powerful. So when you're able to actually then, figuratively bring the crowd up on stage with you, right? Because you're talking about that person and you're having fun. And, what happens? That person goes home and, maybe they came out with their wife and some friends and they're going to talk about that for years to come. Oh, Bob, remember when he was teasing? They might get a nickname out of it. Like it's super powerful. So, I think really what it is when people say like, oh, crowd work is like stupid or, you're not really doing comedy. It's when people do use it as a crutch, right? Like I've run out of jokes. So now I'm gonna be like, hey lady, where are you from? Right.
And that's where you're talking about like the algorithmic crowd work. Yeah. Yes. And Sam's like the exact opposite of that as well.
Right. And so is Nate Jackson. Right. I knew a comic back in New York and he did a lot. He was all crowd work too. And it just ripped. Like you were like, God, how do you even do that?
Have you seen James McCann's crowd work? He's like this Aussie comic that's recently moved over here.
Oh, I probably have actually.
He's got red hair and glasses.
Yeah.
His crowd work is so fun because he's like trying to learn how, because they don't really do crowd work, I guess, in Australia, but he's like kind of learning it. And he's got this thing he's been doing where he'll like ask someone what they do for work and they'll say like, oh, I'm a plumber. He's like, oh, how long have you been doing that? It's like, oh, 5 years. Like, oh, it must be a big house you're plumbing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm a graphic designer. Oh, it must be a big poster. It's like, it's like almost anti-comedy crowd work of like, I like that kind of like evolution of, oh, there could be new styles of this thing. Oh, it's become overly formulaic. Now they're going to break off from that formula.
Yeah.
So,
well, I love it. Like, Jeff Akuri, I don't know if I'm saying, I mean, what he posts, but he, you know, that's the thing is you have to, as a comic, we realize this, but audiences don't, right? Is that those people have sets. Like, I think Norman now, he does a set, but I think what he's done to get the content is that the last 10 minutes or whatever the show, he'll open it up to Q&A, and then he'll take that, and then that's his content. But, you know, a lot of times people don't realize that. So again, they think like that's the show and that's, you know, that's what we're doing. And I should talk during the show. And how many times I'm just helping you. You know, I don't think they're bad. They don't know. And, you know, Matt Rife, going back to him, that's how he got famous, right? COVID. And he was just like, I don't know, like I'm just going to post shit, but I don't want to burn material. So, and people like it. We're very voyeuristic too. Mm-hmm. So anyhow.
Very much so. So it does. Well, and going back to what you said about like the energy in the room, it's the thing that I love most about it is that it's like, it's so close to magic. It works at the intersection of so many things. It's the only art form that there is truly never going to be a cap. It's always evolving. It involves and includes people. I mean, it's just fascinating to see so many people come from different walks of life, come in a room together, and then be able to be transported into like a collective consciousness for just a short bit. It's like a real good reminder of like how much bullshit we inject into our lives that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you know, comedy is, like I said, very powerful when you really look at it at all levels and really peel back all the layers, because very superficially you're like, oh, you know, it's not that hard or whatever. I mean, the thing that most people say, I could never do comedy because I couldn't speak in front of people. And I'm like, that's the easiest part. You know, that's like the first part that you just get over and you go to open mics and whatever. I'm like, it's the psychology behind it. It's how do I talk about things that are tough to talk about, you know, all that stuff. And that's why it's funny when people think like I've had people say like, oh, my friends think I'm funny and I'm going to try comedy, which you absolutely should. But I always explain, you have to understand your friends know you. They've got the whole backstory. So when you say something, you don't have to explain yourself. When you're in a room of, you know, from 5 to 500 people who have no idea who you are, I mean, and you have, 30 seconds to make them laugh? That's hard. That's the hard part, you know? And that's also why I get irritated with certain people who are like, oh, you can't joke about that or you can't say that. Because I've had people come up to me and, you know, they're going through something really terrible that I've joked about. And they're like, it was so nice to be able to laugh about it. But then some other person's like clutching their pearls on behalf of. And I'm like, you don't need to worry about other people.
Fucking worst.
You know,
on behalf of. Oh, my goodness.
I'm like, you don't have to laugh. You don't have to think I'm funny. But don't come up to me and tell me what I can and can't talk about. And, you know, yeah.
That's why I end every show with fuck off and be well. And we stumbled on it like really early in the days. It's like, yeah, you know, like you guys, someone might get upset with like my well wishes for everyone is fuck off and be well. Like, true, I just want you to be well, but fuck off. Like, because this is what you think it is.
I remember I had an interaction with this guy one time. And it was out in front of the Grizzly Pear on McDougal in New York, in Manhattan. And he just was like...
You heard of it?
Oh.
The Big Apple.
Sorry.
Greatest city in the world.
I know. But...
No flex on these fools.
It was... Well, it's no flex, by the way, because we were standing outside trying to bark people into a show. So 0 flex. And so it wasn't even a comedy show thing, but... this one guy who was trying to bark people in was trying to be funny, you know, and this kid goes walking by and he said something that wasn't exactly kind, but he was like teasing the guy. And the guy comes back and he's just like, you know, that really hurt my feelings. And the dude was like, what? Because, you know, people just go, like, they don't even make eye contact. But anyhow, this kid really did take time out to be like, that really hurt my feelings. And I just looked at him. I'm like, it hurt your feelings. Your feelings were hurt by a complete stranger on the street who was teasing you. Your feelings, you felt that. And he's like, well, it wasn't very nice. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it wasn't meant to be nice, to be honest. But I'm like, your feelings were hurt. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, wow. And he's like, that was offensive. I said, oh, you feel offended, right? And he's like, yeah. And I said, you know what? Good. Because you feeling any sort of way means you're alive. You're here. You're present. Those are good things. And I can't believe you took time out of your night to come talk. I mean, and it was not something like he wasn't like he didn't lay into the kid, but it was just this thing where
it's the worst.
It made me realize.
It's the worst. I mean, we went to Boulder public schools, and so like this was what an entire generation of Americans was raised like. No, you adapt your behavior so that other people's feelings aren't hurt at all costs. That is the number one thing you do. You adapt so that you're not hurting other people's feelings. What did this do? Not prepare people well for the world.
Yeah. Well, but it also makes you think, you know, that like having an emotion or having a feeling is bad. You know, that's what I was concerned about with this kid is like, he didn't understand, like, you're supposed to feel things, you know, like, you're not supposed to walk through life and be nonplussed and just everything's cool and you just don't, like, then you're just dead inside, you know, like you are supposed to feel things. And now, of course, especially like in psychology and stuff, people talk about like emotional regulation. It's not about not feeling things. It's not about creating an atmosphere for people where
coddled little bubble.
Right. Where, and also, I mean, you might not know what hurts my feelings. In fact, you probably don't know what hurts my feelings.
Nor should I assume that I could know. That's the other thing is like, okay, under that framework, I'm supposed to cast assumptions onto you of what your hardships are. And I'm like, it's directly at odds with actually understanding other people and like building any type of common ground or connection.
Right. And it's okay to say to somebody, like if we're going to hang out more, right? And you say something to me, like I can still regulate my emotion and be like aware, like, oh, I didn't like that at all. And I could say to you like, hey, Sean, you know what? Like, there's no way you'd know this, but like, you know, I watched 9/11 and I don't really love like jokes about falling and jumping off buildings. And I'm just telling you, just, you know, so at least you know and you do with it what you want, right? Chances are you'd be like, oh, Mo, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, and I'd be like, I know you didn't.
Here's what I'll do.
I didn't know.
Since they're mowing outside.
You'd be like, fuck off.
No, since they're mowing outside, we're going to take a quick break to let them finish mowing. We're just checking on this since it's kind of getting into the sound. And I'm going to kick us to break with our signature station identification. And you're going to love it. You're listening to 91.1. Oh, shit, was that another plane? We'll be right back. We're back. We're live. It's the After Hours show. I want to thank our lawn care team. It was quite the rigmarole, but yeah, long story short, lawnmower crapped out on me this week, Mo. I went next door, had my cup of sugar ready to, you know, give to my neighbor. It's like, who do you use for your lawn mowing? They're like, it's this company. They're great, but they don't speak English. There's some lady that runs the operation. So I called the number. She's like, who doing your lawn care now? I'm like, well, I was, but I can't anymore. I'm just looking for someone to do it regularly. She's like, oh, no. If you're doing it, we know do it. I'm like, no, I was doing it, but like, I would like it if you guys did
Past tense.
Yeah, I'll pay if you guys will do it now. It's like, oh, no, we're not looking for temporary. Because like, your lawnmower get fixed, then you do it. I'm like, no, like, I want you to do it. Anyway, long story short, I'm not doing great at the impression because it was the thickest accent I've heard in a while. But thank you, Dan, and your team for getting our lawn looking presentable again.
Yeah, they were really going at it.
I mean, it's not been a better day and age to have difference in language. You can talk across phones and stuff like we were saying.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. There's no excuses.
Google Translate. It's a great friend for sure. For sure. I studied German in high school, and then I went back to it during COVID just because I was like, I don't know. I started to do Spanish. I'm terrible at Spanish. So I was like, I'll just get better at German. Probably not a great language, or maybe arguably a great language to pick up again. Who knows? We don't know where things are headed.
Yeah. Wow. So you grew up in Colorado and you went to school then for what, an undergrad?
So I went to CU Boulder and I did international affairs. So like poli-sci.
Poli-sci.
Yeah. And then I went and lived and worked in Hungary.
Wow.
And
this was during the Cold War era?
No, actually, it's really fascinating. It had ended.
Okay.
And the prime minister at that time was this young guy named Viktor Orban. And his entire cabinet, they were all like 30-somethings. And we'd see him out at the pubs having cabinet meetings. And he is now prime minister again, and a staunch nationalist and just homophobic, just against... It's crazy. I'm like, that's a solid 180, my dude.
Was it back in the day he wasn't like that?
No, they were all so, they loved America. They loved the West. They were all about, bringing in Western countries to, set up shop there and all sorts of things. But to be fair, I mean, they, I think, didn't understand the realities of free markets, capitalism, democracy. And so, when you tell people for a long time, this is bad, but you look at America and you're like, that looks pretty good. You go into it blindly, which is what they did, in my opinion. And sure enough, they realized the realities of it and they're like, oh, we don't like this at all. And so now it truly is like a lot of people who hated communism. But under communism, everybody was equally poor, and they had this saying like, we pretend to work, they pretend to pay us, but like everybody was okay. They were like middle class, maybe lower middle class, but everybody was okay. But once you bring in free markets, it went like this, like some people got really poor and then other people got really rich. And then you had these people who got poor going, oh, well, we want it to go back to how it used to be. And that's what's happening, is you have people who want it to go back to the way it was under communism.
Wow. And you kind of see that in the United States too now, where like a lot of people are pretending to work and there are a lot of people that are pretending to pay people to work.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, it's the working poor.
Right.
It's the working poor. It's like I'm working 40 hours a week. And I'm not even earning just minimum wage. I'm earning better than minimum wage, but it's hard to make ends meet. God forbid, your car break down or your kid gets sick or something like that. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, I'm watching all of this and I'm like, yeah, I know this playbook. Like, I know how this goes. Like, I've seen it play out. And it's kind of crazy because it's not ancient history.
No.
Like there are people alive who you can listen to and they'll tell you what this looks like 10 years down the road. But I think also, when you study things like why, because I'm always about the why. It's not like, oh my God, he's a dictator and, you're stupid for wanting a dictator. And it's like, no, it's not that. Like you have to understand the psychology behind it. And it is pretty fascinating. It's just, I don't have to be accountable if I have somebody who's going to just tell me what to do. And a lot of people feel that way. I mean, you can say it's wrong, but a lot of people are like, no, it's fine.
I mean, the liberals that we grew up with in public school in Boulder, Colorado, like that's a kind of core thing that a lot of them believe is like, the government should be doing a lot of good things. It's the government's job to do these good things because when the private industry does it, it ends up with bad. Unequal outcomes.
Yeah, and I think one of the great things about America is that you have a lot of private sector, whether it's business or individuals, really previously wanting to make their communities good. I think like anything, when you take away certain regulatory things, that's when it goes kind of off the rails, right? So yes, in theory, like what was it, trickle down economics and stuff, like in theory, it works. But I think there's a balance, right? Where it shouldn't be government doing it, but it should be government saying, hey, this is how it's going to work best. So we are going to regulate it to an extent, right? They're legislative. They shouldn't be in business.
Yeah, they should maybe facilitate more productive means to deliver those things to the consumers. Yeah, I agree.
For sure. So,
but yeah, if you just let unfettered, profit motive hungry capitalists have no checks or balances on what they want to do, then what they'll do is they'll export all the customer service jobs to India where they can pay slave wages and fire all the people because they don't have to pay healthcare. And then now get tax breaks on independent contractors positions and different things. And
we've seen that. But you know what? It was bullshit under communism. I mean, communism was based out of Marxism. Marxism was a very kumbaya theory.
Yeah.
It really was. But people fuck up everything.
Yeah.
And it's that we screw it up. And
that's the toughest part about like public policy, I think, is like you can have really great public policy, but people are going to fuck it up even if you've done the research 6 ways to Sunday. There's some bad actor that injects itself somewhere along the way and ruins it.
Even the psychology behind why people feel this need to have more. Like, why does Bezos need that much money? It's not because he's going to spend it. He's never going to spend that amount of money, right? It's about the power that comes with it. It's about a fear that he probably has. Like, so, I mean, it doesn't help much, but it does fascinate me on a psychological level of like, why?
Well, it's kind of a scoreboard thing too, right? Like it's the modern scoreboard. Like there's no, back in the day, if you were the biggest, weighed the most, could kill the most other people in your Viking village.
All right. Humble brag, Sean.
No, my point is like, he's that equivalent in the modern era. He can flex his money. He can buy influence. He can buy power. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That kind of money is about power. It's not about the actual monetary stuff. But I don't know. It's all very fascinating. I think there was a study done a while ago about also kind of the paranoia that happens after a certain level of wealth, where after, and I don't know what it is, but it's kind of what we would consider well-to-do, I think. So it's not even an enormous amount of wealth, by the way. It's like hundreds of thousands, right? But then there seems to be this paranoia that sets in of becoming poor, which, by the way, when you ask these people to define what poor is, it's kind of middle class average. It's not even true poverty. But then that, fosters this, I need more, and that fear. So I don't know. That doesn't help anybody, but it fascinates me.
Yeah, I mean, that fascinates the heck out of me. I did my undergraduate dissertation on happiness economics because I was fascinated with this keeping up with the Joneses effect that we saw.
Right. And
the core, example I can give of what I was studying is like, okay, back in the day, 50 years ago, say you were a remote farmer in Montana. There's 5 families that live within 25 miles. These are the people that you're comparing and evaluating, you're standing to, and you all have enough, maybe not a lot,
right?
But you're happy.
Right.
Now that remote farmer in Montana has a cell phone and he can scroll and include all these other people in his societal reference group that don't belong as part of his SRG. And now he's evaluating his standing across all these people that are not normally part of this evaluation. And now he doesn't feel as happy.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that is exponential right now with all these influencers and stuff. And, and it's false too. Now that's what we're discovering. You're hearing about these social media influencers where they're like renting a Lamborghini or they rent a mansion to go do some content. So it's not even real. The fitness people who rent, the fake dumbbells and stuff like that. So not even realizing that what you're really comparing yourself to doesn't actually exist. And you hear women going into like plastic surgeons
Yes.
and showing them the filter that they use and saying, can you make me actually look like this filter?
Okay, let me get on my soapbox.
All
what
right.
the fuck is buccal removal surgery? And how the hell do I kill any doctor doing this to women? Because ladies are ruining their faces.
Yeah.
Pull
it's bad.
up the lady from Wednesday. Jenny Ortega's face before and after
That's
this
so
buccal.
sad.
It's so sad.
So I watched this reel. I was talking about this yesterday, actually. It's an office that does aesthetics. So all the filler and Botox, right? They don't do plastic surgery. And what was super fascinating, she's so cute. What was super fascinating is each woman in the office was interviewed and asked how much Botox and filler they have.
Oh, yes.
And the women who were in their 50s looked younger, but the women who were in their 20s, also, they looked older.
There's a lot of
It
like
was
24-year-old girls that look 37 because they're all fucking up their
so
faces with
crazy.
stuff.
What is this?
Trying to find
You know what?
Sometimes
You know what might contribute to this is like
But Jenny,
nobody writes.
she's so cute.
Nobody writes long form elegant prose anymore because no one reads long form elegant prose. So the imperfections of manhood and womanhood and femininity and masculinity, these imperfections are not being parsed out through engaging rhetoric.
Right.
And so these ladies, all they see is just short form clips of people that are fake, like you said, and it pushes them towards outcomes and perceptions of themselves that are just so warped.
Well, and I also, you look at, because I imagine, I don't bother with it, but I imagine like you look at it and then you look at how many likes, right? And then you're like, well, if, they've got 20,000 likes, that's what guys must want because, but in reality, it's not. I have yet to meet a man.
Look at that. Look at how bad she looks now after the call.
So this is the thing, right? Is she literally looks
Skeleton-like.
fake.
Yes.
Like she looks like an AI person. And not only that, but a lot of this stuff, people forget, a lot of this stuff, it's kind of newer procedures. So we really don't know what this is going to look like 20 years from now.
Such a great point. They're getting really good at the tits. Like they've got those fuckers down at this point, right?
Yeah.
They've been working on it for about 30 years. They've got it like over the hill of
Probably even
advancement.
more. Yeah.
So those things are reliable.
But, but here's the thing, even with that, like you don't know how your body's going to react, right? So you don't know what kind of scar tissue you might end up with, all sorts of things. So we've made it so commonplace to take a knife to ourselves and put fake shit in ourselves. And, people don't really want to talk about like Linda Evangelista. She was one of the supermodels when I was growing up. So like that Cindy Crawford, Christy Turlington era. She had, what is it called? It's like a liposuction shoot. Oh, cool sculpt. So she had, if you look up, she had cool sculpt done to her, and it's basically like liposuction. And she now has like these big lumps and stuff, like the way her body reacted to it. Like she's got these really weird bumps on her body, and also it's like, you're stunning. Why are you doing anything to yourself?
Yeah, that's yes.
And now she's got like these big weird lumps on her body.
So you're already working with your top 1% of human appearance.
Right.
So why are you fucking with it?
Yeah.
That's
And this obsession of like not aging drives me bonkers. And listen, don't get me wrong. I look in the mirror and I'm like, God, I really don't like this and I don't like that. Like, I'm a human being. I do that too. But I'm also like, I'm 51. Like, what do I, like, I also don't want to look like a freaking lizard, like, I'm okay. I'm not getting kicked out of bed. So,
So Linda, wait, go back up. That Linda Evangelista experienced paradoxal adipose hyplasia. It's the complication where instead of shrinking, the treated fat area grows larger, forming a firm, visible mass.
Yeah.
Ugh.
See are you able to do images? Because I think she did like a People magazine interview where she did show it. Maybe not, but it's sad, but people forget like these are real things, you know, like you're really messing with your body. I don't know. It's sad. And when you see it so young, it's kind of like, if you're already doing stuff to yourself at 20.
Yeah, like wait till you're busted, at least.
Yeah, but that goes back to what I'm saying. Like, we're so terrified of aging that, like, I think women in their 30s and 40s look the best. Like, yes, they're very pretty when they're young, but like, there's just something about...
They're stupid. You can see it on them.
That's not what I was going to say.
Sorry.
But you're entitled to your opinion. But, you know, I mean, guys definitely...
Same thing, stupid. You can see it on them.
You look goofy as shit, yeah. You know, so I'm like, at least give yourself the opportunity to age to that point, and then if you kind of want to... But here's the other thing. So I was raised European. So in Europe, people take care of themselves throughout their lives, right? So it's like women go get facials regularly and they don't see it as like, I'm treating myself. They're like, no, like, you take care of your skin. Your skin is your biggest organ. You know, you eat well, you get sleep. Like, people live healthier, and that, you know, shows on the outside too. Here, it's kind of like, I'm just going to run myself into the ground and then go get Botox and filler and plastic surgery, and I'll just take Ozempic, you know, and all this other stuff. And I'm not shitting on people who do that. Like, do whatever you want to do. But again, it's the psychology behind it of, I'm not going to be healthy. I'm just going to try to do a quick fix.
Yes.
And then it goes downhill pretty fast.
Yeah, we're very much, we've been marketed quick fixes in our society for the last however long. It's like...
Well, and there's so much money in the beauty business and so much money in the pharmaceutical business that, you know, that's just...
You know what's messed up is the intersection of marketing, pharmaceutical, and beauty, and how, you know, they're almost all incentivized to fuck up women's brains. Like,
they do. You should see how much product I have.
Yeah, they have to. If
I follow. I mean, look how big the beauty section is at Target, right? And they price it so it's like, oh, it's just like $5 or $10, you know, or what? And then you end up spending $200 on shit because you're told that you're wrong. Like, you don't look good. I mean, I used to, when magazines were a thing, you know, like Cosmo and all of those. And I started to realize, like, I go get a Cosmo and then I get done looking through it. And I was like, well, there are all these things wrong with me. And let me like earmark all the products I need to go buy to fix it. And spoiler alert, I've got all the products and I've tried all the products. I still look like this.
Great.
So, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't look that different. There's no miracle cure. And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken, what was it? Fine. Something like 99% of all the makeup it's just minerals. So they've just taken stuff that naturally occurs on the earth and gotten really good at marketing it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, that's the other thing. So the marketing budgets. So for example, L'Oreal is owned by Lancome, I think, or maybe I have it backwards. But point being that, like, it's all the same company, but you pay a premium price for Lancome products. It's all the same research. It's pretty much all the same product too, but the marketing budget and the perception that this is like a luxury brand and a luxury cream and it's going to work better. I mean, that's all just smoke and mirrors, right? So
it's crazy.
But, you know, I'm a sucker for it. I'm not going to lie. If you market something to me on Instagram, I got duped, by the way, on a Facebook ad for these flip-flops that I love. And they're like, we're having a huge sale. And I was like, that's amazing. Cause they're like $60 flip-flops, but they're amazing. They have like arch support and stuff. And I was like so excited. And then the minute I put in my credit card, it didn't register as that company anymore. It was a Chinese company. And luckily it wasn't a huge amount, but basically I wrote I'm a Karen. I wrote the company and they were like, we are so sorry. We have been working with Facebook to get those ads down because they are totally spoofing us.
Oh my gosh.
But chances are you're not even going to get a product. And now they have your credit card number.
Yeah.
So it happens. I'm a dum-dum. Market to me. You'll get me.
Wow, that's surprising that L'Oreal remains family controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Nestle's a substantial minority shareholder. Well, they own all the water, Chris. I don't know if you've heard about Nestle, but
Yep.
they like water.
Their hand in the minerals, the base minerals.
Well, you need water for lotion, so.
Yeah, you definitely need water for lotion. Most of it's just water and minerals. Dear God. God.
I know.
Crazy.
I know.
It's really just makes me frustrated.
Well, I love, this. So Pamela Anderson's in the news right now because her and Liam Neeson are dating, which, by the way, can we normalize older people still getting after it? Because I think that's great.
Yes, we can. My grandparents, there's a story in my family. This is one of my favorite stories. My grandparents were together their whole lives. I remember when they were 16 years old, Midwest, Iowa.
Wow.
My grandpa used to walk like 3 miles to see her at the ice cream place she worked at.
That's so sweet.
So they had a family reunion. I think it was like their 50th wedding anniversary or something. The whole family's together. They're doing like a quiz game, and it's one of the questions like, when's the last time you had sex? And the most recent one was that afternoon, and it was my grandparents who at the time were staying in my house. Is the story. And so my mom just like spurred across the table, Edward, to my grandpa.
Grammy and Grampy, I love it. He's like, well, how do you think you kids got here?
Exactly.
What the heck?
I got 6 kids. How do you think that happened?
Yeah. I love it. But like she stopped wearing makeup and stuff. And I saw an interview with her recently and she was saying, I was hiding. I was hiding behind the hair and the, clothes and the makeup and all that.
She looks great.
Yeah. I mean.
Now imagine if she had buccal surgery at 25.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was always a pretty woman. Like she was naturally pretty. But then of course she got like the boobs and the makeup and the hair and all of that. But yeah, I mean, she's still a beautiful woman. And she developed herself. Like she talks about it. She's like, now that I love myself, I don't really have to hide behind anything. And I think that kind of beauty, like, yeah, okay, you could look at a picture and see, you might look at it and see wrinkles or whatever. But when you're in the presence of a person like that, who loves themselves and that is so fucking sexy, in my opinion.
They have aura.
It's so attractive. It's so attractive. Yeah. But
you should put yourself in that same category, Mo.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because I think you carry that same type of an aura about you. No, seriously.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, I know what I used to look like. So when I look in the mirror, of course, I'm like, oh, whatever. But I ain't getting kicked out of bed. I'm still.
And if you do, you're just going to slide right into that next bed. Come on. Come on, folks.
Are you calling me a whore? I am in a hoe phase right now, so I will admit that. I'm like, why not? I put my sexuality on a shelf for a bit, and then I dusted it off and was like, let's go.
You blew that one off.
Let's go, boys. It's all cleaned out. The cobwebs are gone.
Before we get to end, I want to ask one risque question.
Okay.
What's the youngest dude that you've captured? Or the largest age difference that you've managed, even if older or younger?
Yeah, so the biggest age.
Maybe you're swinging for a 105-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're robbing the grave.
I do not tend to date much older than me. Like I'll go maybe a few years. Like, so I'm 51. I don't know that I would gel well with somebody who's like 60. And it's not a looks thing or anything like that. I don't really live the life of a 51-year-old.
No.
So it's hard to date up. So
did you date up when you were younger?
No, not really. No. I always found older men to be attractive, but I ended up dating men who were my age. And then after I got divorced, I was in my early 30s. So to answer your question, I was kind of probably mid 30s when I started comedy. And there was a guy that I had like a little fling with who was 20.
Nice.
So there was that. Right. So I'm 51. Now nice. I've got... Well, I don't know if I still got
Folks,
him.
I'm keeping it consistent. When I have a male guest tell me that he's also had a 20-year-old, I'm going to also do a fist bump. So I'm just, precursor.
You like shoulders happy in the parking lot.
Yeah.
What was the...
Well, now I don't know if I'm still on his roster, but 32.
Nice.
So.
Rosters. Are you assembling a team as well?
It's not my roster. It's his roster. I can tell he like disappears and then he's
Nice.
like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "You dummy," because that's the only reason we talk. I do like that. I have to admit, it's better than dating apps when that happens because you're just like, look, we're both here to like do what we're gonna do and whatever. So I'm good with that right now because I don't really want a relationship. But yeah, 32 right now is probably the youngest.
Fuck yeah, Mo.
It's not that great.
Legend of the show.
I have like 25-year-olds who are like, no, they're like, I love, you know, I love older women. I'm like, you're 25. Like your mom is probably the same age as me, possibly.
My mom's a few years older than you.
Huh?
My mom's a few years older than you, but
that's disturbing though.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd still do you if I wasn't in a relationship.
Well,
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
My parents got divorced when I was like 8 or 9, and then my stepdad came into my life right away, and he's closer to my age than he is my mom's age. So if that gives you any indication, if you have any indication, my mom.
Holy shit! All right,
it's a badass bitch right now.
All right, she's a hottie.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff like trips me up.
I'm trying to write
no
jokes about it because
but...
it's like that's got to be one of the more unique things about, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trying to dig into stuff like that. My closer right now is about my mom's breast cancer, so that's been.
Oh, that's hilarious! I'm sure.
It's been fun. We're getting the signal. Your production team wants you out of here hard. You know, you gotta get you. Your limo's taking you off to the Loveland.
Good choice of words. Production team, you're hard to get me out of here. Is that what you just said? Is that what you said? Maybe I misheard. I might have misheard.
Have you heard of this country called England, Mo?
I've been to it.
They have this silly little thing where they do called knighting. Well, here at Top Shelf Studios, after a long forward conversation, I am doing the hiding. It's all my life, Mo. People have been like, "Hey, how's the weather up there? Can I get a couple inches?" Shit like this. What I've come to realize, and I've got this prefrontal lobe, they say, I'm like, oh, I'm waking up in a vehicle. I'm driving a meat suit. This is just a vessel.
Meat suit.
Right? And I look out in the world, Mo, and I'm like, oh, we're all judging each other on the size and color and shapes of our meat suits? Like, this is just dumb. So after a long-form conversation, I am pleased to give you a heart height. How tall do you stand physically?
I can't even talk. I'm still stuck on meat suit.
Damn, I got it choked up.
I was like, that's so Silence of the Lambs meat suit. I'm 5'6".
All right. Mo Vida, I heart height thee. 7 foot. Another 7-footer.
I'll never
You're going to need a procedure
again.
on that heart. That's a large heart you have. Protect it as best you can, but clearly you're giving it to the world. Thank you for sharing some of it with us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Where can the people check you out, follow you, see you do comedy?
The easiest is to follow me at Mokavida, MOKAVIDA. I post all my stuff on Insta. I don't have a website because I'm too lazy. So
go check her out.
And I'll message you back. I'm real.
Yeah.
I'm real.
Just don't start
be
with
weird.
a dick pic.
Yeah.
That's my pro tip.
Yeah.
Didn't work well for me. I'll just say that. She responds better to words, folks. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow Mo, and fuck off and be well.